So we will continue from where we stopped. First, we're going to whip up our editor. All right. So I'm just going to minimize this. Okay. So for instance, this is my own Visual Studio Code page. So what I've done, I've decided to use a dark theme so that it can reduce the amount of data that it eats up, from us. You can see that the presentation also is having a black background. This will also help you to reduce data, how will I put it now? Data consumption on your phone or on your modem, whichever one you're using. So this is the, just give me a minute. Okay, so let's continue. Sorry for that break. Let's see. I hope you can hear me well. I don't want it to be like yesterday that you couldn't hear me properly. I'm sure you can hear me better now. So, like I was saying, that we'll continue today from where we stopped, and we're starting up with our Visual Studio Code HTML editor or text editor, as the general name is. So when you launch your Visual Studio Code, which I expect that you launch right now, where you have, there's a plugin or an extension that we are going to install. What the extension does is to enable us to see our code, what our code is, what it's going to look like on a browser right here within Visual Studio Code. So what that means is that we won't have to leave Visual Studio Code into an external browser like Chrome or Internet Explorer or Edge or Mozilla to see what our code looks like. So everything is just going to be within this Visual Studio Code interface. All right. So, and that's what we're going to be doing now. So if you have your Visual Studio Code open, please just watch what I'm going to do now. So what you're going to do is we have icons on the left side of your Visual Studio Code screen. We have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 icons right there. Actually, there are 7. There are 2 of them below as well. So, but the one we want to do is, we want to work with right now is the extension icon here. And what we use it for is to install extensions. We're also going to be using Visual Studio Code for our Python programming as well. All right, so everything's going to be within this Visual Studio Code. Even when we start Python programming, we'll also be using the Visual Studio Code to do that. So please focus right now and watch what I'm going to do. Again, we want to install an extension. So you click on that extension icon here. Then at the top here where you have the search, what I need you to type is HTML preview. HTML preview. Okay. HTML preview. That's what you're going to type in there. So you see this one here created by George Oliveira. George Oliveira, this particular one is about 419 kilobytes. So you click on it. So it gives you a preview of it on the right pane. All right. I hope we are following. Once you do that, you see a blue button here that says install. So what you're expected to do is to click on that install button, and then that extension will be installed in just seconds. Again, type HTML preview after clicking on the extensions icon, type HTML preview in the search box. It will give you some options. The one you will be using is the one that has George Oliveira underneath it. Click it once, and click it once. You will see this blue button will be showing install and not uninstall. To be showing install. All right, so you click on install, and in seconds, it will be installed. It will be installed. So please, I want to quickly do that right now. If you've done yours, just send me a yes in the chat window. Send me yes in the chat window. If you've done yours, just send me yes in the chat window. Again, click on the extension icon, type in HTML preview, the one that has George Oliveira underneath it, select it once. On the right pane, click on install, and it will be installed. And it will be installed. Okay. So please, if you have done yours, just send me a chat that yes, 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 yes. So I can see that some people have done theirs. Some people have done theirs already. And okay, great. So we have quite a number of people that have done theirs. Please, if you are finding it difficult to do yours, please let me know. Okay, you're on the road. We'll try mine. All right, that's fine. Yeah, no problem. That's fine. So I guess we can move on now. Can continue with today's class. So your HTML window is set. So I'm going to still show us how to do that. So we're going back to the Visual Studio Code now. So once you are done here, what you then need to do is to close this page by clicking on this X button at the top. This X button at the top, so close it. When you've closed it, close this also by clicking on the extension icon again. It will close. And then what you have is this, or you may be having something else, but what do you have this? So now the folder we created yesterday, we need to open that folder inside Visual Studio Code. I want you to pay attention now as we are going to try to open that folder inside Visual Studio Code. Please pay attention. You see this first icon here, it says Explorer, okay? If you click on it, it brings you here and it's telling you to do what? Open a folder. That you have not yet opened a folder, is open a folder. I think another way of doing that is to click on File and say Open Folder. All right. Again, let me show you again. What we want to do now, we want to open our folder that we created yesterday. Remember that folder that I created yesterday, the web programming folder where we have our files and everything we worked on yesterday. That's what we want to open now. So what you do, this first icon that is here showing two files that says Explorer, you click on it, or you click on File and click on Open Folder. Okay, so I'm going to click on the icon and then I'll click on Open Folder button. If you open the dialog folder for me, Open Folder dialog box for me. I know I saved mine on the desktop, so I click on Desktop and I'll scroll to where it is. And this is it here. I'll open it. I have my HTML folder, okay? I'll still leave the HTML folder as is because what I'm working on, I'm going to be working on with everything here, right here inside this Visual Studio Code. So I'll make this. Once you open the web programming folder, don't select HTML, don't select it. Make sure it is not selected, all right? The next thing you just need to do is to click on Select Folder, Select Folder. Once you click on Select Folder, it's going to open that folder for you. No, I think I did it wrong because I've already selected the HTML folder. So I'm going to close this folder and I'm going to redo it again. So I'm going to click this and I'm going to do, so don't select the HTML folder, please. Web programming, and I'll just say select folder. All right, so this is what I expected it to do. So this is what I think you should also have on your system. If you have opened the wrong folder, click on File at the top and you see close folder here. Click on close folder. It's going to close that folder for you. So what you then need to do, go over the old thing again, click on file. I mean this icon here, or you click on file, and then you click on open folder, okay, to the desktop. And then we come to web programming, sorry, and then click on select folder, okay. So I'll give you a few minutes to do yours very quickly. See what I have here in the chat. Okay, those of you that are still on the road, well, you can listen and you watch the video later. Someone is saying she's confused. Okay. Now that person is lost. Yes, just double click on web programming folder and then click on select folder. I'm going to do this one more time. So let's watch again. I'm going to close my folder here again. So please, let's pay attention. So I'm going to do this one more time. Let's pay attention, please. Everyone pay attention. So what I'm going to do here, I'm clicking on this icon here that says Explorer. I click it once. It gives me this button telling me that I've not opened any folder yet. So I'll click on this button that says Open Folder. Okay, it brings me to this dialog box. On this dialog box, I know where I saved my folder or where I created my folder, which is on the desktop. I don't know where you created yours, but you have to choose where you created yours. I created mine on the desktop, so I'll click on desktop once. Desktop is open for me here, and I'll have to scroll to where I have that folder. It's web programming folder. I will double click on it. I'm clicking on it twice. Without selecting any other thing here, I will go straight to select this button that says select folder. Select it once, and then it opens the folder for you. How do you know that the folder has been opened for you? If you look to this left pane here, you see the folder web programming, and under it, you have the HTML folder. If you open the HTML folder, you will see every other thing we've worked on yesterday. All right. You see the things we've worked on yesterday here. Okay. So is anybody still lost? Anyone still lost? Well done. Well done, Esther. If you have opened your own folder, just type in yes. If you open your folder, type in yes. If you have not, please let me know. Well done, Esther. Well done, Esther. Okay, Toby, it means you've not been following us on the Telegram group. We had said about 2 days ago that everyone should download Visual Studio Code. A video was also posted on how to download and install the Visual Studio Code. That was before class started yesterday. So you may want to go back to the Telegram group and check that out so that you can then download it. Well done, Hidayat. Caleb, well done. Okay, great. So I have a number of people that have opened it. So we will proceed with coding in, what's it called now? In Visual Studio Code. Okay. All right, so let's move on. We are on chapter 4, and chapter 4 talks about HTML elements. HTML elements. Tongue twisting, right? So an HTML element is defined by a start tag, some content, and an end tag. Okay. The HTML, why am I not able to call this thing very well? HTML elements. Okay. is everything from the start to the end tag. Now, what they are saying is from the tag name here, which is the start tag. Okay, this is the start tag here, and then the content, and then to the end tag, everything is called the element. So like yesterday, when we had the H1 tag, the start tag, the content here, and then the end tag. So all this line of code is called the H1 element. The H1 element. The one underneath it is called the P element or paragraph element. Okay, paragraph elements. This can be called heading elements, but which heading are we going to say it is? The H1 element. Okay, we get that correct. So everything that you're seeing here is called an element. So if you find this question in your quiz that you'll be getting soon, over the weekend, I guess on Sunday evening or Monday morning, you will see such a question like this, and you should be able to tell me that everything, both the start tag, the content, and the end tag, is what makes up the element, is what makes up that HTML element. Okay, so this first one is called the H1 elements or the H1 heading elements, and this second one is called the P element or the paragraph element. If this was A, we'll call it the A element or the anchor element. Okay. All right, so we'll proceed. Next slide. So some HTML elements have no content, like the BR elements. These elements are called empty elements. So take note of that. The elements that do not have content are called empty elements. Empty elements do not have end tags. All right, they don't have end tags. They are just on their own. All right. So a tag like the BR element is, we are going to see it in action soon. And I gave us two of them like that, the BR element and the HR element. I told us that the BR element is to create a line break. Okay, so if you have a long text or a long paragraph text, you want to break it to the next line, or you want to move a particular element to the next line, you can use the BR element to do that. Your HR element is for horizontal rule, like this type of line that you're seeing here. That's what you use HR element to create. All right. So we are talking about nested elements now. HTML elements can be nested. This means that elements can contain other elements. When you talk about nesting, it means a particular element can also contain another element. Okay, all HTML documents consist of nested elements. The following example contains 4 HTML elements. That's the HTML element itself, the body element, the H1 element, and the paragraph element. So if you look at this code properly, we are already used to this code. We did all this yesterday. So we have this HTML element here, and we see where it's ending. Inside the HTML element, we also still have the body element, okay? And we see where the body element is ending. Inside the body element, we have the H1 element and the paragraph element. That is what we call nesting. That's what we call nesting. So an element, appearing inside another element, or an element containing another element. That's what we call nesting. I hope you understand what I'm talking about here. Again, if you have questions, please do not hesitate to ask questions. All right. So let's go on. So the HTML element is the root element, as we can see from the previous slide. It is the root element here. Okay, is the screen small? Actually seeing my screen bigger. Are you using a phone? If you're using a phone, maybe that's why. Maybe that's why you're looking at it as being small. But don't worry, let's continue. Okay, so let's just proceed. So if you're using a phone, you may see it's small. That may be the reason. So let's proceed. So your HTML elements here is the root elements, then others are inside of it. So, and it defines the whole HTML document. It has a start tag of this HTML and an end tag of what you can see here. Okay, this is start tag and this is the end tag. Then inside the HTML element is the body element, just what I've explained to us. This body element that then contains other elements like the H1 and all that. The body element defines the body, the document's body. It has a start tag of body tag and then the end tag of this end body tag. Then inside the body element, there are two other elements, the H1 and the P elements. Remember, I told us yesterday that everything inside the body element is what you can see on your web browser. That's what you can see on your web browser. What you have in the body element is what you'll be able to see on your web browser. Anything outside that, you won't see it on your web browser. Even the head element that has a title element inside of it, like I showed us yesterday, we only give a title to the browser tab that your page is showing on. The H1 element defines the heading, and it has a start tag of H1 and the end tag of that H1 that you're seeing there. Okay. And then we have also a paragraph, as the case may be. So we now understand what nested HTML elements are. That is an element inside another element. That's whereby there's an element, which is the root element, containing other elements inside them. That's what we call nested elements. Any question from anyone before we move forward? Any question? So here, it is important. Okay, somebody, sir, please, we don't understand the previous slide. Okay, which of them? Is it this one? Okay, so this slide is just explaining what I've explained to you before. And this particular slide is explaining what I explained to you here, where I said we have the HTML elements here, which is the root element, okay? And inside the HTML element, we have the body elements. You notice where the HTML element starts from, and it ends here. So inside it, we have the body element that starts here and ends here. Inside the body element, we have the H1 element and the P element, which means that the body element is nested inside the HTML element. The body element is inside the HTML element, while the H1 and the P elements are inside the body element. That's what we call nesting. So that's what we are trying to explain in the following slides. Right here, we said the HTML element is the root element, and it defines the whole HTML document. And then it has a start tag of this and end tag of this. Then inside the HTML element, there is what? A body element. All right. I want to believe you understand. And so also here, the body element also containing the H1 and the P element as well. Okay. So that is what we are saying there. So here, we're talking about skipping your end tag. Yesterday, I was writing a code and mistakenly I skipped an end tag. I think of the body. It was someone that reminded me that I didn't add the end tag to it, but it didn't affect the display of the page. Now, why it is important that you add your end tag is that some browsers or some code you may have on your page may need to interact with that end tag, in the sense that it may need to have an end tag to a particular element. If there's no end tag, it may throw an error. So when you are sometimes you go to a website and something is not displaying well, it may be that the end tag has been omitted. So it is advisable that you don't skip the end tag so that you don't have unexpected results or errors on your page. Right, I hope you understand that. So please don't ever skip your end tag. It's a good programming practice not to skip your end tag. All right, so let's continue. Empty HTML elements. So these are elements, like we said, these are elements with no what? No content. No content at all. They are just there like that. They don't have any content. You can't put anything inside them. You can't even, they don't even have attributes. Okay, they are just empty HTML elements. So please fire up your Visual Studio Code, your VS Code. Fire up your VS Code. We are going to write this code now and see the BR element, which is one of the empty elements that we have in action. All right, so fire it up. Okay, so we have, so I'm going to create a new file. I'm still, this is HTML day one. So what I want to do now, I want to create a new folder here. You can right click on your HTML and then do new folder and give it the name Day2. Give it the name Day2. Inside Day2, I'm going to create a new file. This icon here, this first icon you're seeing here is the new file icon. So I'll select it and then I'll type the name of the file here. So I can say empty. Can just name it empty dot HTML. So please create your own. Give me just a minute. Let me get a glass of water. So create your own file very quickly. All right. So if you have created yours, let me know. Type yes. Yes, you are creating a new folder. Let me show you how to create a new folder again. So I said what you will do, this is your HTML folder at the top. Okay. Right click on it and then choose new folder. Okay. Well, I'm going to just create a Day3 folder because I already have my Day2 folder here. So I'll say Day3 here. Once you name the folder, press enter. Okay. So inside that folder, you can select that folder just as I've selected it now and click on this icon, or right click on the folder and say new file. New file. Select it. Give your file a name right here. I can name this one test file. Test file.html. Always add the .html so that the Visual Studio Code will know that this is an HTML file. And then you press enter. That folder will be created and the file also will be created. Okay, but of course, this is the file I'm working with here. So if you have created yours, please do let me know. So just type yes in the chat window if you have created yours. Type yes in the chat window. Type yes in the chat window if you have created your own. Okay. Can see some people have created yes. Well done. Esther, well done. Blessing, well done. Esther, well done. Daniel, well done. Oh, you can't see. You can't see with the dark theme. Okay. Let me change it to white. I changed it to the black one because I wanted to help you guys save data. Okay, let's change it to white. But that white, I hope it won't be too bright for some people. Okay, maybe the reason you can't see, let me see if I can increase this font size. Let me see if I can increase the font size of my window here. Okay, let's see. Settings, the window. Let me see if there's anything I can do. Sure. Okay. Let me just do something. Let me try to increase my recommended settings. Let me increase it a little bit. Let's see if that's better. So please, can you confirm if it's better like this? Was that's ooh, 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 ooh. So is this better? Olasami? I think this should be better for us to use. Okay. Pop this out. Minimize this. Okay. I believe this is better. So we are going to type out I want you to type out your normal HTML structure like I'm going to do now. Now, this is the beauty of using a Visual Studio Code, an HTML element sorry, text editor, like the VS Code. So it helps you to complete what you're typing automatically. Although, don't be too lazy not to type your stuff in full. Now, the good thing here, as you can see, immediately I close the opening tag or the start tag, it's added the end tag for me automatically. So all I have to do here is to press enter, and automatically it creates that space for me. Here now, I'm going to type in my the head tag, I think. Yep. So inside the head tag, we have the title tag. So you also be seeing all these things on your own too, right? So the title tag can have, let me close this back, can have the title of our stuff. So we can say empty element. Oh, no. This is not what it's supposed to be. Sorry. comment. Okay, sorry. We tag title. You can skip the title if you want. You can put it there or you skip it. Anyone you want, empty element. So after the head tag, what you have next is your body tag or your body element. Okay. So what I want you to type now is this code that we have here. This is the code you are going to type out. Okay, so just follow me as I type it. Okay, so now we type in our P the P tag, and you can see that it has closed it for me. So I just need to type in this is, and then I put in my empty break tag there. Then I say paragraph. With line break. Full stop. So I want to believe we've typed this at our end. We've done that. So please type this code as you can see it. We have typed it. Just put in the chat window, yes. Just put yes in the chat window if you have typed yes. Okay, well done, Daniel. It's bringing the text in double folds. I don't understand. You mean double line? You mean 2 lines? Is that what you mean, Esther? So what we'll do here now, everybody look up. Look at your screen right now. There's this icon here, open preview icon at the top right corner, right under your title bar. You see this icon, click on that icon. What you will see is going to then show you the preview. All right, it's going to show you the preview of what you are doing on this page, on this side of your screen. Okay. Do we see it now? So it will show you a preview of it on the right side. And on the left side, you have your code. All right. So if yours is looking like this, please do let me know. Do let me know. So as you can see, this BR tag here, this element, is what has broken this line into 2. If I take out this element now, this BR element, just watch what is going to happen. You can see that everything is in one line right now. Okay, so this preview is real time. As you are changing your stuff here, it's changing here. You can see that everything is on one line now. If I put it back, the BR element takes it back to 2 lines. So that is the job of your BR element. Okay. So have we all done that? I'm not seeing anything in the chat window. What's happening? How we can still hear me? Okay, well done, Esther. Who else? Who else have done that? If you're having any issue, please do let me know. Again, to bring up this preview window, there's usually an icon here. Let me see if I can, let me try and close mine. This icon here, that's what we installed, the extension we installed. That's what is giving us this opportunity to do this. So this particular icon here, not the second one, this one, the first one, not the second one. There are two of them there. The first one is what you click on that says open preview to the side. And that's what will show this for you. Some people are just joining. Don't worry, you'll get the recording. So if you've done this, please just type in yes so that I will know that we are all on the same page. Type in yes, so I'll know we are all on the same page, please. Okay, Abidemi, well done. So I know you may be wondering that aren't we going to use our browsers again? Of course, you can use your browser. You will still be able to use your browsers to do what you need to do. For example, if I want to run this in my browser, what I'll just need to do is to click on run here. And I can say run, or we start debugging or something. Yes, use web, use Chrome. So it opens this in my browser, as you can see. Okay. But then instead of me having to do that all the time, I can easily be seeing what I'm coding here. And then when I want to see the way the browser will handle it, I can go to run and I say start debugging, or I say run without debugging. And then it displays what we have. So this is exactly the same thing that we have. Excuse me. So you also have your run and debug icon here as well. If you want to just go ahead and run, come here, you say run and debug, and then it will run this in a browser for you. So I'm not getting people telling me that they've done this. So what's going on? Okay, so I'll close this white screen again, this preview again. Let me close it. So we have installed something. If you joined us at the beginning, I'm sure you know what we're talking about. Were you there, James Okosi? Were you there when we installed the extension? Okay, that's quite a lot, a lot of people that are lost here. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to run through this one more time. For James, the way to install, I presume you don't have the extension installed. The way to install the extension is you come here, this icon, the fifth icon in your Visual Studio Code, select this icon and search for HTML preview. HTML preview. You will see this particular one that says George Oliveira. It says George Oliveira. Underneath it, HTML preview, provide ability to preview HTML, blah, blah, blah. So you select it once, and then, because I have installed, that's why you are seeing disable and uninstall. But for you, you will see install. So click on install. So in just few seconds, it will be installed. Once you're done installing, close it, go back to your HTML, you will have this icon here. This is the preview icon. Select the icon and you have this right part of the screen showing for you. I hope that makes sense. So you can quickly try and do that to get on the same page. Then Caleb says, okay, so you are lost. Caleb, which part are you lost from? Please let me know so I know how far back I want to go. Okay, I have Esther says it means, yeah, they perform like the same function, but when you are writing your code, this preview page is just for you to see firsthand the way it will look like. It's always still good for you to go run it in the browser so that you see exactly the way your browser will handle it. The preview is not your browser. The preview only helps you to see if you are doing the right thing, at least at a go first. But your browser will show you the way it will appear on other people's browsers or any other browser that other people may be using. You understand? So yes, the preview shows you what you're seeing, what you're doing, but going through the browser is also another thing that tells you the endpoint, how it will actually look for real. So always try to still run in the browser so that you will know you are doing the right thing. In fact, when we start to do Django, by the time we start to do Django, the actual programming itself, you will understand what I'm talking about. Okay. Okay, do not. So, Caleb, I just showed us how to open this white place now. If you have downloaded it and installed it, you will have this icon here. See my mouse at the top right corner of the screen. So there are two of those icons there. Don't pick the second one. The second one says split editor right. Pick the first one that says open preview to the side. When you select it, it will open it this way for you. Are we good, Caleb? Okay, well done, James. Caleb, are we good? Okay, so let's continue. So this is what it is, okay? And we go back to our presentation, to our slides very quickly. Okay, so HTML is not case sensitive, and that's very true. So HTML tags are not case sensitive. You can have your capital P in your P tag. It means the same thing as the lowercase p, okay? The HTML standard does not require lowercase tags, but it is recommended. So it is recommended that you use lowercase. It's not like if you use the capital letters or use uppercase, it's not like it won't work. It will work, but we usually recommend that you use lowercase for your HTML tags. It's always a good thing to use that, and it makes your code looks much more better to the eyes. Okay, looks much more better to the eyes. Let me explain something to us on this Visual Studio Code before we move on. Now, on this Visual Studio Code, you see HTML is in blue color. This is peculiar to Visual Studio Code, so don't get it twisted. HTML is in blue color, head is in blue color, title blue color, body in blue color, P tag in blue color, the BR in blue color. It tells you that all elements inside this Visual Studio Code, we always have blue colors like this. If we now try to add an attribute, for example, if I add an attribute to this, to the P tag, for example, let me do something here. So I add an attribute of style. You can see that the color for style is a sky blue color. Okay. And I say style equal to, say, color, and then this value, and I say red. So you can see that me adding this style here has changed the color of my text to red. This is what we call CSS, and that's what we're still going to learn in this course as we proceed. So I'm going to close this now. Okay, so I just wanted to know why some are in blue color, some are in white color, and so on like that. It's just Visual Studio Code telling you what they are. Okay. So let's get back to our slides. All right. So we've said it, yeah, not case sensitive, but we recommend that you use the lowercase for your tags or elements. Okay. So we go to chapter 5, which is the attributes. So far, do we have any questions with respect to elements? Any questions from any one of us? James, you're asking me, how do you add folder to Visual VS Code? Someone, Paul, please, can you adjust your name or rename yourself to the right format? Change your name to what you have on your Google Classroom account, please. Change your name. God bless you as you do that. Okay, I should recap the elements briefly. All right, let's do that. So I'm just going to run through this element again for the sake of those who joined late. I'm not going to be doing this every day, okay? And that's why we are recording this class. So this is not what I'm going to be doing every day. For the question being asked by Paul, let me just answer your question. XAMPP is a web server, okay? XAMPP is a web server. XAMPP is not a text editor. I don't know of any text editor called XAMPP, all right? XAMPP is a web server. By the time as we go on in this course, we also get to know what web servers are. So you cannot use XAMPP instead of Visual Studio Code. Okay, you can use XAMPP instead of Visual Studio Code. XAMPP is a web server. It's a Linux web server that you use. So Visual Studio Code is a text editor that you use to write code. I don't think you use XAMPP to write code. All right. So I'm going to quickly show James how you create a folder, how you access your folder. James, you have a folder created yesterday, correct? So to open that particular folder, what you need to do, click on File. Under File, you see Open Folder. Click on Open Folder. Am I showing the right thing? No. Okay, sorry, guys. Okay. So you click on File from your Visual Studio Code. File, just like I just did now. Then you see the Open Folder menu. Click on Open Folder. Your dialog box appears. Scroll to where you have your web programming folder, the folder you created yesterday. Double click on it to open it. Once you open it, click on Select Folder button here. Once you do that, it will open up the folder for you at this level. You'll be seeing it at this level. So at this level, today is day 2. We already have the 1 already here. This is day 2 that I created myself. So for you to create your own day 2, right click on HTML here and say new folder. When you do that, it gives you this box right here at the top, okay? And then you type in day 2. I am going to type in day 4 because I've done day 1, 2, 3. So I'm doing day 4 now, okay? And then you press enter and that's it. You are good, you've created your folder. So now create your file. Inside that folder, right click on the folder and then say new file, okay? It brings up this box for you again. Then type in the name of your file, maybe file and .html. Always include the .html. And then you press enter. Once you do that, it will open a file for you here. Okay, but I'm going to close it. So that's how you create your new folder, and then you also create a new file to write your code in. So quickly, I'm going to just brush through this right away, the element, chapter 4. And I'm not going to waste time on it. So I want everyone who have missed it before to please pay attention. It's going to be a rush. So chapter 4, okay? HTML elements. So an HTML element is what we call the tag name, the content, and the closing tag, the opening tag or the start tag, the content, and then the closing tag or the end tag. All right. So these are an example. This is the H element, the H1 element, and this is the P element or the paragraph element. Okay, so your element is the entire start of the tag, the content, and the ending of the tag. That's your element. So don't forget that one. All right, so these are some elements. We are told that we have an empty element like the BR element, which is line break or break line or line break, whatever you want to call it. So it breaks the line. And that's what we've done here inside this code here. We've added this BR element that represents line break. So Visual Studio Code is already telling you that the BR element represents a line break. Can you see that? So that's a good thing about Visual Studio Code. Also, it gives you some information to help you understand what you're doing. All right. So that's what the line break does. I mean, the BR element does. Okay. Your H1 element is an heading element. Your P element or paragraph element is for paragraphs, like we saw yesterday. And then we have what we call nested elements. Nested elements means that an element inside another element. So I'm going to use the code we wrote just now to explain that to us. So for example, this is your your HTML element, okay? You can see this line here, which tells that the HTML element starts from here and ends here. However, inside the HTML element, we have the head element that starts here and ends here. And also inside the head element, we have the title element, okay? And that's what it is here. And then we have the body element inside the HTML element. The body element is not inside the head element, okay? Inside the HTML element. And inside the body element, we have the paragraph element. Inside the paragraph element, we have the BR element. That's what we call nesting or nested elements. Is an occasion where you have another element inside another element. Elements existing inside themselves. That's what we call nested or nesting elements or nested HTML elements. I hope that explains that in the simplest way. So what I just explained to you now is what the rest of this slide are saying to you. So when you get the slide, please go through it as well, and you get to understand it much better. We are also told never to skip our end tag. We are told never to skip our end tag. So these are the slides I'm talking about. To just explain what I just said. So we are told never to skip our end tag here. If you skip it, it's possible that your documents, your code will display well. However, some browsers may not allow that. So, and you may also run into some problems as you continue to write your code. So always make sure that you add your end tag or your closing tag, or you close your tag like the way, close your elements, like I will always say to us. So if you type in this particular code now, this paragraph without the closing tag, it will run. But there are some cases where you begin to have errors. Yeah, it's possible you begin to have errors in some cases. So always end the tag to tell the browser that this tag has actually ended or it has closed by adding the end tag to your elements. Empty tag, and that's where we are right now, BR element, which is what we've tried. This is the code we just tried now, right here. Okay, this is the code we just tried here. So we also said that our elements are not case sensitive, but however, we advise that you use lower cases for your elements. Even in VS Code, you can see that VS Code uses lower cases. Okay, so lower cases is best to use. And that's all we've done in chapter 4. We are moving to chapter 5. Spend 1 hour in chapter 4. All right. So we are moving to chapter 5, talking about HTML attributes. HTML attributes. HTML attributes. Let me see if I have any question from anyone. Do I have anything in the chats? Yay, 31. Why? Bloody. Okay, sorry. Using another device here. Someone is asking when you can get a slide. We have an habit to send slide after the class. After the class, that's when you get the slide. Okay, I don't think there's any question yet. Answer, that's only one I've answered a question. So HTML attributes provides additional information about HTML elements. They provide additional information. They give you, they enable you to add more information or more properties or characteristics to your elements. Okay. They allow you to add more characteristics to your element or more properties to your elements or more try change some behavior or something to that your element. That's what attributes does. All HTML elements have attributes. Attributes provide additional information about elements. Attributes are always specified within the start tag. They are always specified inside the start tag. Please take note of that. These are the kind of question I will ask you in the quiz or in your exam. So attributes are always specified in the start tag. Attributes always come in the name value pairs, like name equals to the value. If we go back to our code of yesterday, let's go back there. Our code of yesterday, which one did we use? Image. Yeah, so this SRC is an attribute. So we can see this SRC now is the name of the attribute, then equal to the value. Okay, name equal value. Your value will always be in double quotations. All right. So you can see this alt attribute as well. The alt is the name of the value equal to the name of the attribute, then equal to the value here that we have here. You can see the width attribute equal to the value 300 pixel. Okay. So that's what we mean by attributes come in name value pairs, e.g. name equals to value, name equals to value. Okay. All right. So we go on. We also have the href attributes. So that's the one we are considering first, href attributes. I told us yesterday that href means hypertext reference. Hypertext reference. The A tag defines the hyperlink. The href attribute specifies the URL of the page the link goes to. Okay, it specifies the URL of the page the link goes to. So if we go back to the code we wrote yesterday, we'll see what we're talking about there. Under this, my link, we can see our href attributes here. And the link where we want to go to is this www.mail.com. Okay. And then the text we want to show for someone to click on is what we then put in here. So that is your href attributes right there. That's the way it works. It's usually inside your A tag or your anchor tag. Okay. So we'll learn more about links in our HTML links chapter. There's a chapter that is dedicated to links only. So we'll be learning more about those ones there. Then SRC attributes, usually called the source attributes. Okay. It works with your image tag. Okay. And it's used to embed an image in an HTML page. The source attribute specifies the path to the image to be displayed. For example, in this particular one we did yesterday, we can see this image here right now. And this is the path here. The path is like the name of the image. All right. It could be inside another folder. And if it's inside another folder, you have to specify it in this value. Okay. But I won't show us that now so that we don't get confused. When we get to, we're still going to learn more about the source attributes also. When we get there, we begin to know more about it. How we can say, okay, I want to access an image in another folder that is not in the same folder as my HTML document, but is in another folder. I want to be able to display that image. For example, if you have an image in your photos folder on your system, but they are not inside this Day1 folder that I've created, there's a way you do that in this SRC value that we're going to learn more about later on. Okay. So let's just be patient. one thing I want us to exhibit in this course is patience, okay? We'll eventually get to know all these things. And all these things that we are taking one by one to teach us will only make us to be better, as time goes on. So the source attributes, there are two ways to specify a URL in the source attributes. There's the one we call absolute URL, links to an external image that is hosted on another website. It's a link to an external image that is hosted on another website. When we say absolute URL, the link to another image that is hosted on another website. So if you look at this place right now, okay, you can see that this is actually a URL, a link, okay, www.3school, blah, 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 and then it's linking you to this particular image_girl.jpg, okay? External images might be under copyright, blah, blah, blah. I mean, you know that whatever image you are using on your website, please make sure it's not copyrighted image, okay? So again, when we get to this, we'll be learning more about this. But however, you can display an image. What we are saying here is that you can display an image that is residing on a particular website. Once you get a link to that image, you bring it in here and paste it, and then it will be able to display it. Your page will display that image that is existing on another website. Do I have any question? Let me check. Somebody said now the whole thing is blurry. And that may be as a result of your network. Oh. Is anybody experiencing any blurriness too? Maybe as a result of your network. Sorry about that. Is there anybody experiencing the same thing? Please, if you are, please let me know. Okay. So let's move on. So the second way is relative URL. Relative URL. Links to an image that is hosted within the website. Here, the URL does not include a domain name. But in the previous one, we can see that there's a domain name here. The external website is here. But for this relative one, the URL does not include any domain name. And that's what we used yesterday, the relative URL for our source. That's what we used yesterday. So an example is where you see src equals to image_girl.jpg. Okay. If the URL begins without a slash, it will be relative to the current page. We're going to be learning about that later, more about that. And then here you see, if the URL begins with a slash, it will be relative to a domain, to the domain. That's your current website where your files are also residing. Don't worry, you will understand what I'm talking about later. But what you will do, this is saying that, okay, I'm going to show us an example very quickly about this relative URL and particularly about this /images/image girl on, .jpg. So we'll get back to our code page. Now, let me just check if there's any question again. Okay, so we are back on our coding page, and I'm going to go to Day2. I'm going to create a new file. And I'm going to name it src page.html. I press enter, so my page will be open for me. However, inside this Day2 folder, I want to create another folder called images. So I'll right click on Day2 folder and I'll say new folder, and then I'll name it images. Okay. Remember, this images is a folder, it's not a file. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy this, my photo that I have here, this image I have here. I'll copy it and I'll paste it inside images folder, just like I do now. So this is the image here. All right. So it's inside my images folder. So what I want to do is I'm going to, let me copy everything I have so that I don't spend time trying to type again. Go to my source image and I paste everything here. Okay. So I'm going to go enter. So remember, I want to embed an image. Which element do we use to embed an image? That is the img element, which represents image. Okay. So for my img element, I can go ahead. Either I close it like this. Don't worry, I'll close it properly now. I need a slash here. What's going on here? Okay, I know what is happening here with img. So let's continue. I'm going to show us something very shortly. So src, okay, equal to. Now, take note of this. I know that my source page.html, that's the src page.html, resides inside Day2 folder. Okay. However, the image I'm trying to display resides inside another folder inside Day2 folder. So the question now is, how do I display that image? So I know the name of the image is my photo.jpeg. Okay, that's the name of the image. Right here, you can see this icon. It's telling you that this we can't find the image, but the image exists somewhere, but it's inside this images folder. So how do I make that happen, that the image will show? And that is where this comes in. If I go back to my slide, that's where this slash images slash img_girl, which is the name of my photo, comes in. So what I'm going to do with my code is I'm then going to add slash images and then slash, okay, to it, which should, I hope I'm typing the right thing. I think I am. This is supposed to display what I want it to display. Okay, let me save it. I don't know why it's not displaying it here, but let me run images, then my photo. Let me check properly my photos. Okay, I'm correct. So let me run it in the browser and see. Something is wrong somewhere. So let's debug. Let's see what's happening here. Oh, okay. I think I'm not supposed to put this guy. Yeah, I'm not supposed to put the first slash. So it's just supposed to appear like this. How we get it now? Okay, so images is already telling the browser that there's a folder called images, and inside that folder is the photo I want to display. And that's why we have it here like this. Okay, so the folder slash the photo, that's what will happen. That's what you will see. And that's how you will display your images. Do we understand? So any question? Hey, Olasami, are you using a phone? So I should increase the font. Okay, let me increase the font a bit. The font won't be too big for me myself. Text editor font is 10, so let me make it 22. Okay. So I hope it is big enough for you. So that's the code for that. Let me see if I have any other this thing. So you can try that on your hand. Try what I just did on your hand. Create a folder, right click on Day2, if you have Day2 folder, and say new folder. Give it a name, images, and then copy the images, the image you have. Okay, you can copy from anywhere on your system. But when you get here, right click on images folder and just say paste. And then you copy it and paste it inside the image folder here. And then you write this code. So I'll give us like a minute or two to quickly do that while I try to go through chat if there's any question there. All right, there, thank you very much. And that's the thing. Okay, Safari supports it if you put the first slash. So that's the thing about coding. So some browsers may not support it, while some other browsers may support it. So what Idayat is saying that is that if we add the slash, some browsers will support it. And in fact, in some cases, I've seen in the course of my coding, I've seen where you have to add 2 dots for the thing to show up in some cases. And some you may not add anything. Like you see now, I only add 1 dot and it's already appearing here. So depending on the browser you're using, like Hidayat has suggested here, and she's very right and correct. In some cases, it may take it and some it may not take it. So that is why you must always run your stuff in a browser. Even if you are having a preview here, always try to run it in a browser so that you know how the browser will handle it. Okay, how the browser will handle it. Right here, this dot is telling the system that from the root folder, which is Day2, there's a folder called images, and then there's something called photos. I mean, my photo inside that folder. So thank you very much, Idayat. So we are all learning. Okay, so has anybody done theirs? If you have done it, just send me a yes. If you have done it, send me a yes. And a good advice for us is to always have more than one browser on our computer. So when you have more than one browser, you are able to run your code in the different browsers. So it's good to have Chrome, it's good to have Microsoft Edge, it's good to have Mozilla. Then you just run your code in all 3 of them to ensure that they all display properly what you are trying to code or what you are trying to create. All right, that's very important because that's what I do. I have about 4 or 5 browsers on my system that I use at different times like that. So I'm waiting for also. While I'm waiting, let me take a sip of water. All right, let me run through the how to bring an image into this folder. So on your Day2, right click on it and then choose new folder. When you choose new folder, give it a name, images, okay? So you can go to anywhere on your computer and copy any image. Let me try and do that here. See, go to downloads. I think I have some images under downloads. So let's say, let me use this one. So this particular file now, I'm going to right click on it and I'm going to say copy. Where's copy? This is my copy here. So I'll copy it. Then I go back to my VS Code. I'll right click on the images folder here. Right click. Why is this not displaying paste? Oh boy. Okay. I don't know why you're not displaying paste. Okay. Did I not copy? I think I did. So I can simply do this actually. I can drag it here and it will be here. So this is what I did. I'll delete it now. I select my image folder. I open I get the file from wherever I want to download it from. Let me just reduce the name. This is too long. So what I'll do, I click and drag it to the images folder here and I drop it there. Okay. So that's how you get images from your computer system into your folder. So what the system has done is it has copied the image into this images folder. So I can come here. What's the name again? The name is banner.png. So let's say that's what I want to display. I'll come here and change the name of this file here and call it banner.png. And you know, the good thing is that Visual Studio Code is intelligent. It's already telling you that there's a there's a file named this inside your images folder. So all you need to do is just click on it. And as you can see, the image is already displaying here. Let me see. It's as if I'm talking to myself here. Yeah, you said you're unable to paste the images. So I have shown you another way. Click the image and drag it to you open your folder right here on top of your Visual Studio Code. Then click on it and drag it. So the images folder like I'm doing now, and just drop it there. It will come up here, okay? So that's how you do it. It's very easy. So Esther, let me know if you get it. First time you're attending class, hey, sorry, we have recordings, a recording for yesterday's class. You can go and get that. Don't worry, just go and get the recording and also follow with the slides of yesterday. You understand well. Your phone is really low. It will go off anytime. Please, I need to charge. Okay, go and charge. Oh my people. We have about 30 minutes to still go. Nobody has indicated that they've done this thing. Oh, hey, Jesus. Has anybody done it? There are still more attributes we are going to add to these images, so like we did yesterday. Yeah, well done, Esther and Blessing. You've done it great. Abidemi, well done. That, well done. Okay. All right. So since we have some people that have done it, other people, please, if you can't do it yet, you can just leave it for now. You go back to the video. Once it's posted, then you follow the steps that I've given to you. So we're going to go quickly back to our slide presentation. So here we have the width and height attributes like we did yesterday. I told us the width and height will either make your image big or make it smaller, depending on the size you want your image to be. You understand? That's what the width and the height does. So, and it's being specified in pixels. That's the default. It's specified in pixel. You can also specify it in percentage. The percentage is going to take the entire page of your screen and calculate it by percentage. So if you say 50%, it means it's going to be half of the screen size. So the image tag, the IMG tag, should also contain the width and height attributes, which specifies the width and height of the image in pixels. It's advisable you use it in pixel, okay? That will help you to maintain the right size at all times. So here we see this code. So I'm going to add the height and the width to my own image, okay? So I'm going to add, let's say, I'm going to add a width first, then we'll see what happens. The width. And I'll say the width equals to, say, 200. You can see that it has shrinked the image. Both width and height is affected here. Are we following? So if you specify the width only, it will automatically, there's something we call dimension constraints in image resizing. So because I did not specify the height, so my browser automatically just did what? Shrink the thing to the width of 200 and also proportionally shrink the height also for me. So let's see what happens when I specify height by myself. Okay. And I want to say the height also is 200. You can see it has made it 200 by 200. Okay. So I might say that the height is 100. You can see that how it's changing. How we are following. So if you specify, what if you specify height alone? What will happen to the image? Let me take out the width now. So you can see that the height is, the width is automatically adjusted for you. So let's say the height is 300. It's automatically adjusted for you. Now, why it's doing this is because my screen that I'm using, you can see that. So that's why it's good. Don't just depend on this preview. Also try to run your stuff in a browser. Okay. Try to run it in a browser. So I could say my height is 250. And that's what she gives to me. So I'll bring back my width. Okay. So this image is actually distorted. It's not nice. I can increase the width to maybe 400 or say 500 until I get what I want. Okay. So if I go back and run it in the browser, let's see what it gives to me. Run. So this is what we have here. So let me go back and check if I have any question. So you can do the same at your end. Some content has been disabled in these documents is what you're getting. I am not sure I understand what that is. Some content has been disabled in this document. Is it when you run it on the browser or what? Esther? What's disabling you guys' content too? Okay, check your code properly. I don't know why you're saying some content has been disabled. It shouldn't be. You can close the preview and reopen it again. For those of you who are having content disabled, close the preview and reopen it again. Close the preview and then reopen it again. instead of a separate folder, I'm saying Day2/image. Is it that you name your folder Day2/image or what? Can you double click on the Day2/image and see if there's anything that appears underneath it? James, double click on Day2/image that you have on your system and see if there's anything that appears underneath it. Okay, you may have to. So when you want to create the images folder, what I would like you to do now, James, right click on the Day2/images, and then you see an option that says rename. Select that option that says rename, and then rename that folder to Day2 only. And then press enter. When you are done doing that, right click on the Day2 folder and select new folder. A box will be presented to you to type in the name of the new folder. Type in images and then press enter. That's the right way to do it. So who has done the height and width? Esther and Esther, two Esthers, you're having the same thing. Is this saying some content has been disabled on this document? Is that what it's still saying? Is that what you're still seeing? James, if you are still having the same problem, please, what our advice is you may have to rewatch this video from the beginning so that you really understand. You know, I think you didn't join us from the beginning, so that's what it is. So Esther Ayala is saying that it's not saying that again, but my image is not showing. Okay, Razak has done it. The image folder is not supposed to, it's supposed to be empty if you don't have any image. If you have not pasted any image inside it, it will be empty. So you have to paste or move an image inside that folder. So for you guys, okay. Now let me show you how to move images from your system into this folder on Visual Studio Code. Okay. Again, open where you have the image on your system. Like I have opened there, I have the image on downloads folder. So you open yours as well. Okay. And then click on the image once. Okay. When you click on it once, you then click on it again, hold your mouse down and drag the image into the images folder. You can see my cursor, not the box you are seeing at the top, but my mouse pointer itself. You can see that it's on top of images here. When you do that, when it's there, then you drop it, which means leave your mouse. Bam. That image will be inside the images folder. All right. That's the way to move an image from your own system into the folder that you want to be on Visual Studio Code. I'm not sure why I can't copy images from here and just go ahead and paste it here. I'm not sure why it's not allowing me to do that here. I'll probably find out. Ordinarily, it's supposed to allow me. So just do it the way I've said you should do it. Drag and drop it there. Drag and drop it there. So you have your Visual Studio Code open up like this, and then you just open your Explorer, browse to where the image is, then just drag and drop the image in there. That's how you do that. So quickly do that now for those of us who are still having issues with it. And let's proceed. Esther, I'm not sure I'm getting what you're saying. I have done that, but there's a drop down box that saved the image. I'm not sure I get what you're saying. Can you check if the image is inside your images folder on VS Code, please? So what you do, like for example, this is your image folder. Under it, you will see the images you might have dropped there. Okay. So can you just check? Okay. Okay, so I'm going to say that you can watch this video again if you want to get this correctly. You can watch the video again so that you'll be able to know how you move images there. Okay. Another way of doing that. Let me see. Let me copy another image. Let me copy this one. Now I'm now going to go to my desktop, look for my folder. Where's the folder now? Web programming folder, HTML, the two images. I can paste it here. And it's pasted. And also it's appearing here. So that's another way that you can use to move images into your folder. You already know where the folder is located. So just copy the image and go and place it inside that folder already to appear in Visual Studio Code automatically. So even if you rename it like I just did now, it will still appear there as being renamed. So that's another way of moving images or copying images into your folder. All right, so let's move forward. Or let me just give some of us about 2 minutes to quickly sort this out. Okay, so let's proceed. Let's proceed. I'm sure we understand what the width and the height attributes are doing, and also what the SRC attributes is also doing. So we are just going to move forward with our slides. And the next attribute we are looking at is the alt attributes. The alt attribute, the required alt attributes for IMG tag specified an alternate text for an image if the image, for some reasons, cannot be displayed. This can be due to slow network or an error in the SRC attributes, or if the user uses a screen reader. So what that is saying is that peradventure, your image is not displaying, but you want to tell people what the image that is supposed to be displaying is. So you then use the alt attributes. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to show us the use of alt attributes now. So I'm going to come here right now, and I'll say alt. Okay, to indicate the alt attributes equal to, so the image I'm displaying is the web development image banner. So I can just put a web development image banner. Okay. So what is the use of this? So take, for example, I I typed in the name of the file incorrectly. Okay. So instead of just showing this icon alone, it will also tell you what the image is supposed to be. Web development image banner. That's your alt text. That's what it does. Okay. So if I put back my G to correct my stuff, my image will display again. So anytime you have a wrong value here for your image, it will then, the alt attributes will come in and tell you what the website builder, which is you, is trying to display there. So we'll learn more about images later on in the HTML image chapter as we go on in this course. We're still going to learn more about images. So this is just me introducing us to the image tag and some of its attributes. So we'll still be learning more about those as we proceed. Ooh. Please just give me a minute. I want to sip water. Okay, so let's continue. We are going to stop here on style attributes for tonight, and then we'll continue tomorrow. I'm going to stop here on style attribute for tonight, then we'll continue tomorrow. I don't want to bombard you guys with too many things because you have a lot to still go through on your own. So I think I used this style attribute for us already. So the style attribute is used to add some styles, okay, to an element such as color, font size, and so on. Font family, the font name, you can do anything to it. So what I'm going to do, again, I'm going to copy everything I have here, and I'm going to create a new file called style under my Day2. Under Day2, I'm going to create a new file called style.html. Okay, I'm going to paste everything there. So however, I'm going to delete this image tag. I don't need it with what I want to do. Okay, so this is my paragraph text that I'm going to use to do what I want to do now. So last time I showed us what style can do, and I'm going to try to show us again here. So style attribute, you type in style, okay, equal to, so what style are we talking about here? This is where you now enter a CSS code here. So we want to change the color of our text. We want to change it to, say, blue. Let's say blue. Sorry. So let's say we want to change it to blue. And as you can see, the text here has changed to blue. So even part of the style, I can say I want to change the font size for this paragraph. I want to make it bigger. Okay, so I'll say font size equal to, I can say 20 points. And I'll close that. Oh, sorry, not equal to, I think I'm typing. So it's going to be column, actually. So I make it 20 points. As you can see, it has increased the size of the font here. So that's what you can do with your style attributes. It gives you the opportunity to be able to style anything, add some things to it and so on like that. Just give me a minute, please. Okay, guys, sorry, I was on the wrong screen. So I'm going to do everything all over again. I sincerely apologize. I was on the wrong screen. I apologize. And sorry, I wasn't looking at my chat um, window at all. Okay. So we're on the right screen now. Okay. So we want to style this paragraph. That's what we want to do here. We want to style the paragraph. Okay. And we are using the style attributes. So we type in style, all right, equal to. And what I want us to do here first is to change the color of this paragraph to blue. So we'll say color, column, because this is style sheet. We are dealing with style here. So use color, then column, and then you type the color you want to use there. So I said blue, and then you end it with what? Semicolon. So as you can see here, it has changed to blue. All right. So the next thing I want to do is to increase the font size of my paragraph of this text. I want to increase the font size. So I can easily go ahead and type in font dash size, okay, colon, and I say, maybe I want to increase it to 20 points, say 20 points. Then I'll close it. So as you can see, the font size has increased here. I can go ahead and run it in the browser for you to see. I choose Chrome. So you can see that it's big here than what it was before, and it has what? A blue color. It's bigger and it has a blue color. Okay. So what if I want to make it bold? I want this font to be bold. So that's where we use font weight. I think that's what it is. Font weight. Sorry. Font weight. Okay. Colon. And you have different values of how bold you want it to be. Okay. I want to be bolder. So I'll choose bolder. And I close it. So you can see it has boldened the font for me. All right. So that's what you can use style to do. You can use style to change, to style your text or to style whatever thing you are working with, whatever element at all. You can use style to style them. And that will change what it is. I may choose to say, I want to, let me see one more thing that I can add to this. Is it called font style? No, font style. I think it's font style. Font style, yeah. So I want to italicize this. I want to make it italics. So I'll put in italics there. And you can see that it has italicized my paragraph. Okay. So those are some of the things you can do with your style attributes. The style attribute is a CSS style, or we call it inline CSS style, you know, in HTML. There's also other ways of specifying your style also, as we will learn more when we get to HTML styles chapter. So all these things I'm just introducing us to, there's still a whole chapter that is dedicated to those things, where we would learn as many things as possible about those attributes, about the elements as time goes on. So we will end the class for today at this place, at this point. I'll send you the slides like I did yesterday, and we'll also make available the recording as well. Once the recording is ready, you will get the link to it as well. So let me check my chats. I don't know if I have any question or somebody is asking. Somebody says, what about alignment? Yes, you can align text using the style, using your style attributes. There's a lot of things you can do with style attributes. We'll see them as time goes on in the course of this program. If you didn't see the link, check on the classroom. Go to your classroom under the announcements. Under stream, you will see what we posted. I think yesterday or early this morning. The link to the recording is there. So please go there and get it. Okay, I'll display the screen again. Sorry about that. I'm going to display it again. Okay, so you can go ahead and type. So that's it. You can go ahead and type it. And also, I'll make these files available to us also on the classroom portal so that we can use it to compare to our own code that we have. In case you're having problems at your end, you'll be able to compare it. When we are done typing, please let me know so that we can close the class for today. I'm going through my chats. Is anyone using phone to code? Yeah, it may not be that easy to code with phone. I get you. I get you. So there are two posts. One was yesterday. And the other one was this morning. The other one was this morning. Okay, Esther, thank you. Esther, are you done copying the code? One was yesterday. I think the other one was this morning. I'm going to check and confirm. Don't worry. I'll check and then confirm. I can still repost the link for yesterday's class again for the recording. So don't worry, James, you will get it. Okay, so I think there's no question. We will be ending the class now. I hope we have used the right name in this class today. And there's somebody here, Lady B iPhone. Please change your name to the name you used on the Google Classroom. If I can't find your name on the Google Classroom, that means you won't get the mark for your attendance. Please change your name, Lady B iPhone. So you have others on core, please use a complete name. Perpetual, please use a complete name. Toby, please use a complete name. Naomi, please use a complete name. Okay, so I believe we must have finished copying this code and we can close the class for today. So I want to say thank you all. I hope we have gone to the classroom to mark our register, to mark our attendance. I'm going to I will extend the the time again for the attendance, because I know that sometimes when we are so engrossed in this class, we tend to forget that we need to mark the attendance. Let me see how many of us have done that already. Okay, 26 of you. 26 of you. And I have how many people in class? Okay. So I want to believe everybody has marked their attendance so far. So if we have 26 people already turned it in, and we have 20, what of us here? 24 here at the moment, then that means everybody must have marked their attendance. So thank you guys for today. Thank you for your time. Thank you for being in class today. I don't want you to, don't worry. Don't worry if it looks like this at the beginning. What I'll just encourage you to do, please go back to the slides, read through. The slide is even very, very easy. Just follow the slides example like that. As you are following the slides example and you are watching the recorded sessions, you will get it right. I promise you, these things are not difficult. They are very simple. All you need to do is to patiently follow the slides that I'm sending out to you at the end of each class, and then you get it correctly. You know, it's very easy. It's computer coding and it's easy to learn. All right. So the slides have been created in a way that it's very simple for us to learn and follow it. Then when you watch the recording of the class as well, it will also help you through. So please don't be scared. Okay. Be strong, and let's do this together again tomorrow. So tomorrow is Saturday, and we said we are meeting by 10. Yeah, we are meeting by 10 a.m. 10 a.m. 10 a.m. Somebody said they don't know how to mark attendance. Go to the classroom. When you get to the classroom, you will see a tab called classwork. Under that tab, you will see a task there, something that you need to do. Click on it, you will see, then click on the form. Inside the form, all you need to do, there's a question there that says, are you in class today? All you need to do is to click on yes. Okay, is to click on yes, and that's how, and then submit. And that's how you've marked your attendance. Okay, that's how you have marked your attendance. So thank you all for your time. Thank you for being here. We'll see you again tomorrow, 10 a.m. Please don't forget, 10 a.m. God bless you. And I pray that all that you're learning will stick to you and you will understand it. God's Spirit will help you through in Jesus' name. So good night, everyone, and see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.